Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz Video Recap. Today is Friday, February 21st, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. First up, Bing made some news this week. They went ahead and updated their Webmaster Guideline, specifically saying keyword stuffing is now off limits. They added this paragraph to the end of the Webmaster Guidelines at Bing, specifically reads, when creating content, make sure to create your content for real users and readers, not to entice search engines to rank your content better. Stuffing your content with specific keywords with the sole intent of artificially inflating the probability of ranking for a specific search term is in violation of our guidelines and can lead to a demotion or even delisting of your website from our search results. So no longer are you allowed to go ahead and keyword stuff directly on Bing. That's off limits now. Next up, we had some recovery stories. So we had, on February 6th, we reported the week after that Google did a page layout algorithm. Now, most SEOs that I know of don't really get affected by this, but there are some, and they do track it. And some people said after the third, this was the third refresh, that their rankings actually recovered. So we had some people actually say they lost 50% then, and now they're back up about 30% since this past update, which is nice to see. Not sure why the lighting is horrible here, I'm sorry. You don't really need to see me anyway, it's fine. Google's Matt Cutts said they actually did test dropping backlinks as part of their algorithm, but the results were much worse, he said. He said in his video that he posted this week that when they went ahead and tested it, it's a very poor search quality experience for users. They never tested it externally, they tested it internally only. But they said, you never know what they'll do in the future, but right now they're not going to go ahead and remove it. It's interesting because we did a poll the week before, a couple weeks before, and asking what would you do as an SEO if Google removed backlink data, and we had over 300 responses. 34% said they'd be very excited, 32% said they'd be curious, and 17% said they'd be very concerned. There's a lot of talk about penalties. Lots of sites are getting penalized by Google, and it's becoming outward. People are actually noticing it more because of the different metrics out there, such as either people posting in the forums about it, Google sending out updates to people about it, as well as these search visibility tools from SEMrush, Search Visibility, and all these different tools out there. So Halifax is one on the board, and the people are questioning, did they really get a penalty or not? It looks like they did. If you look at actual charts, it looks like they did. SEMrush doesn't really show it, but that's not really a good metric. But if you take a look at these charts, you can see there is definitely a downward slope on Halifax's, the big UK bank website. Next, Google's John Mueller said that they may show the redirect URL as opposed to the destination URL in the search results if it's cleaner, more links to it, if Google just deems it's important to show it. John Mueller said this in a video about 46 minutes in. Let me just quote it for you. I'm not going to quote the whole thing, but basically he said, if Google goes ahead and says the URL is actually nicer looking URL, or we have more signals pointing to the URL, maybe canonical, or maybe a lot of links pointing to that URL, Google may show the redirect URL, the beginning URL, as opposed to the final destination URL in the search results. And some people say they actually see that a lot more on the mobile results. Also, John Mueller said that Googlebot will follow up to 5 redirects in one, I guess, at the same time, one hop. He said this again in a different Webmaster video, talking about 46 minutes in. He basically said that the number is, it used to be 2, I believe. Google used to say they used to follow 2 in one hop, and now they're following up to 5. And this is actually documented. I didn't realize it. It's actually documented in their Google guidelines. Google said, and I'm surprised by this, that switching to HTTPS from HTTP or vice versa won't have a change in your page rankings. John Mueller said this in a Webmaster Help forum, saying, before you get too confused about the technical issues, I'd just like to add that going from HTTPS to HTTP, or the other way around, generally won't change your page's ranking. I'm surprised by that because it's a URL change, it's a domain name change, it's a major change. And if you do that and you don't do it properly, obviously you can have an impact, and you have to set up these 301s as well. So I'm surprised he said that, but I guess he knows what he's talking about. Google Shopping campaigns. It's basically a new campaign type, which was released last October for Google product listing ads. It's now available globally for all advertisers, not just for the US advertisers. Google AdSense seems to be testing really wide arrow boxes. So here's a screenshot. The ad is actually blanked out, but the actual button is like across the whole bottom. We're not sure if it's actually a bug or if it's actually a Google AdSense test. 9 months after Google launched their preview of their Google Maps, the new Google Maps, Google is saying it's now being rolled out to all users by default. So the old Maps is going away. The new Maps is coming in. There's going to be tons and tons of complaints about it. But personally, I find that the new Maps has come to a point where it actually could replace it. I used to constantly go back to the old Google Maps to get features, and now I find myself rarely doing that. Talking about Google Maps, but I tested this. Anyway, sorry about that. Google Places updated their quality guidelines as well, specifically talking about their business listings. So the business name. So what you could put in the business name. And they went ahead and clarified a lot of things. They say you can use descriptive terms about your business, but you can't do it in a way that's kind of like artificially promotional. So for example, I think they used the example that you could use, you know, John's Pizza Store, John's downtown pizza store, and the downtown is the descriptive part of where it is. But you can't use like John's #1 best pizza store. That's not allowed. So they went ahead and described that. This is not going to work either, but Google Analytics, now has embedded some data into Google Plus Pages dashboard. So now if you go to Google Plus Page dashboard, you'll see if you link your Google Analytics account with your Google Plus dashboard account, you'll actually see a little box on the right-hand side showing you your new visits, your unique visits, and your page views plus for the past 30 days, and the change. So it's actually bringing in data into the Google Plus dashboard from Google Analytics. This is interesting, funny. Raspberry Pi is basically like a programmer hacker device that you can pretty much do almost anything with. They went ahead and tweeted this. Let's rate it down up. Amazing. SEO company, SEO spamming company who hid links in our forums just mailed us. They're being penalized by Google in search for spamming. So their response is to tell us to remove the links they hid on our site, or they will report Raspberry Pi to Google for spamming. Obviously, we told them to go stick their spam up their behinds. We're not helping them out. Great response. Why should they? Obviously, the spammer could actually just disavow and nothing will happen, but it's just annoying to see spammers go ahead and threaten people like that, especially Raspberry Pi, which is, you don't do. Sorry. All right. This is interesting. Again, I'm sorry it's not working, but I'll describe it to you. Google's Matt Cutts. He's obviously stopped by for the first time in over 3 years to Webmaster World to actually comment on a post, on a thread. Matt Cutts, obviously, as you know, was the Google guy. It's his infamous background where he actually spent tons of time helping webmasters at Webmaster World. And because of that, it's surprising to see that he hasn't really shared a post or commented in a post at Webmaster World, which is really his home. I mean, his original home back then, for 3+ years. Anyway, he went ahead and commented in a private forum, which I really can't share with you, but he basically, the issue was a large site, which was actually unnamed, said they accidentally blocked their whole entire site with a robots.txt file when they did an update, and they want to get included faster because somehow it's taking weeks and weeks for them to get included, or days and days after they remove the file. Matt Cutts basically said, try to trigger it by using the fetch as Googlebot, submit like, I don't know, 10 pages or so, and that might get Google knowing that your site's no longer being blocked, and might get them to crawl faster. And I believe in Indeed it actually helped. I think they instead submitted a sitemap, but Indeed it helped. And finally, this was released last Friday. Basically, there were 2 computer games, obviously for link bait. I've got to talk about it. One was Donkey Cutts, based on Donkey Kong, but from Matt Cutts, and one called Mad Oogle. And the first one is basically a Donkey Kong game where it actually has a theme about Matt Cutts and trying to get up to your rankings to the top and reach Matt Cutts. And you can actually pick different characters. I believe the different characters are, here they are. So I think it's Danny Sullivan, Rand Fishkin, I believe, Will Reynolds, that's me, I believe. So there's different characters here. I'm not exactly sure who everybody is. And also Mad Google, which is basically an Angry Birds play, where you have, these are the black hat SEOs, and then you shoot these, I guess, heroes, whatever they call them, over to knock off the black hats. So this is Matt Cutts. This, I think, is Rand Fishkin, they told me, Lisa Barone, and that is me, spelled Barry. Anyway, it's a good link bait. Figured I'd share it with you guys. And they got links, lots of links from it. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz Video Recap. I apologize for those broken links. You can definitely take a look at all those blog posts with screenshots and all the information at SERoundtable.com. And thanks again for listening to us. Today, again, is Friday, August 21st. And everyone have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next. Bye.